Hello everyone, Gobi's here with more reveals. Obviously we got Poppy yesterday, which was amazing. She's an amazingly versatile champion as well, which I can't wait to deck build with. So let's see what cards they're giving us for us tonight. Let's get into this. Oh my god, I'm not gonna lie, I was not expecting another champion so soon. We got Poppy yesterday. I was not expecting another champion. I thought we were just gonna get some more follower cards. Oh my god, the hype is real. Let's get in and see what she's gonna do. Boom, so here we go. Pinsy, free cost, free. And what is she going to be doing? So she's a quick, so got quick attack, which obviously is a good stat to have, like a good keyword to have. So strike. Plant 2 flash bomb traps. So she is another, people did speculate that as a champion she was probably gonna have traps as being a thing, which bear in mind we do already know that we've got the 6 cost, which is the one which lets traps happen twice. So depending on what flash bomb is, depends on whether or not you want to have more of them going off and whatnot, but let's have a little look and see. So, plant 2 flash bomb traps randomly on the top 10. So, yeah, again, this is even better because it's meaning that it is controlled about where these are going. It's not going to be going into all of the enemy's deck. It is going to be going into the top 10 cards of the enemy deck, and 5 of your traps have been activated, which technically also counts shrooms. So, I'm going to assume there's going to be a Teemo deck going on with her because obviously, Teemo's mushrooms do count as traps as well, so all it takes is 5 traps have been activated. She doesn't have to see the 5 traps be activated either, so as long as they happen, as long as like you start hitting them with shrooms or you start hitting them with flash bombs, she's gonna level up. So already, much excited. I want to know what flash bombs do. Let's get in. Okay. And quick attack as well. Oh, I need to like. Need to spend more time actually paying attention and close, which is getting this where I need. Okay. So, Sting Officers, 2 cost, which is 2/1. Elusive, which is Nexus Strike plus 2 flash bombs. Yet again, it's more flash bombs to which it random cards at the top 10. And looks like there's we've got the Justice Rider, which is going to be something to do with bombs. It's always the top 10 cards, which is nice. We've got another, which is 5 mana fast speed one, which I'm loving the artwork on here for some reason. Which is place an enemy follower place an enemy follower into the enemy deck. Then your opponent draws one. So that we're actually getting like, because PNZ has not had like any like big removal stuff, like in terms of stuff which can remove like tricks like that can take things off the ball. PNZ's always had like the threats, because the only things that it's had that can like stop things are basically like mystic shot, like damage spells is where PNZ has mostly been. And at this moment in time, damage has not been the best, but 5 mana to actually take an enemy follower. I mean, it doesn't work on champions, is the only thing to note about this. Obviously, place an enemy follower into the enemy deck and then let the enemy draw one, which can force potentially trap things. And we've got one which is the Peacemaker. So Peacemaker, deal 2 to an enemy and plant 2 flash bombs randomly in the top 10 cards. So all of these things are all to do with flash bombs. I just want to know what a flash bomb does. So I was really hoping we're going to see. So flash bombs. Ooh! So it looks like flash bombs actually do damage to units on their board. I don't know what makes it decide what. And there was also was that a pot of greed card that I saw there? Oh, both players draw 2. So it's insider knowledge. This is a pot of greed for both players. Draw 2 cards. So yeah, again, forcing them to draw into their damage spells. Obviously, we know that we've got Foundry as being a thing, so this is going to be forcing them to draw their puff caps. It's going to be forcing them to draw their flash bombs, but also you're getting draw as well for it. So just one of those kind of like good cards that if you are putting traps inside a deck to be able to use, like that's actually not a bad card at all. So insider knowledge, loving it already. So I wonder whether or not they only hit the one that's on. Okay, here we go. So it was actually called Justice Rider, but we kind of got to see what it was all about, which is whenever your opponent draws, place 1 So you would use this and then use insider knowledge, which is forcing them to. So you're forcing your player to draw, and then you're placing two flash bombs within their deck as well as obviously if you are running mushrooms in this, you've got that going on. But okay, doing that, drawing. Oh, I mean, both of those things look interesting, whatever those cards are. So we have the officer squad. So that is when I'm summoned, create a most wanted in hand. Okay, so I don't know what most wanted is going to do. And then, oh, they've actually changed up the artwork for. So is PNC just going to get multiple copies of Karina? Where, you know, like how Demacia gets multiple copies of Cypria? Is PNC just going to get multiple copies of Karina? Because obviously Karina Control was such a thing for a long time. But okay, plant 5 flash traps randomly or activate the effects of all traps in the. So when you play, you get to decide how. Like that is stupidly insane with puff caps, because puff caps still can't count as traps. So with a card like this, that is shit. Like obviously you could use it to place more flash bomb, but also you can use it to activate traps. As I said, if you've been running a Teemo mushroom deck, to activate all traps in the top 5 cards of the enemies, like that's plus as well. If you had the 6 cost, the other 6 cost that makes all traps activate twice. That is what? No, you can't do that. There has to be in this set. There has to be something which is to do with purifying the next 2 cards, or like basically removing traps from the top 2 or 3 cards in my deck, so that it's not going to become too insane, because right now traps are going to be a little bit crazy and everywhere by the looks of this. Okay, so it looks like flash bombs seem to always hit whatever unit is on. So whatever unit is on the left, right? That's how this seems to be activating. I mean, we're gonna obviously get to have a look at what Flashbomb says at some point, I'm sure. But it always seems to be whatever unit's on the left. So they're sending that back. So I'm surprised they didn't hit any flash bombs, if I'm gonna be honest. Okay. Oh, they're like little movies. A bullet! Oh, the bullet coming in there. But honestly, they're like little movies now, the level up animations. Okay, so the level up animation so she goes to a 4/4, deal a quick attack. Every single time you strike, plant 4 flash bombs randomly on the top 10 cards of the enemy deck and deal damage to the enemy nexus equal to the number of track. So basically, she becomes like Teemo. So basically, those flash bombs become additional damage if you were running buff caps as well. Those flash bombs become additional damage that's going in while she's on the board, like going into like. Oh my god, it's too good. It's too powerful. It's the traps. This is literally going to be you've activated my trap card, Yugi, because there's going to be traps everywhere. I can see so many trap decks being a thing with cards like this, and like I said, the cards like Karina, who can activate them off the top of the thing, as well as the one which doubles the effects. Like, this is... it's just... it's gonna be, you're gonna have to have so much, like, you're gonna have to make sure you kill Teemo immediately. You're gonna have to kill, like, but there's so many other things which give you puff caps and that. It's just such... Okay, we'll keep going, but I love it. And her level up animation with the sniper bullet, though, is I love that. Okay. So, what does it hit does it hit units randomly? So, immediately doing that, let's see, so... Okay, so it must just do the damage randomly between however many the opponent has. I wasn't sure because it always seemed to be hitting the leftmost one, but it does seem like it hits randomly. So we get Foom. Yeah, we already saw this. So Flashbomb. So it is just deal damage randomly amongst the allies, which obviously that's the trap that's going into your opponent. So when they draw, it is just happening randomly, and however many they're activating, they're getting those traps. A good set of cards. I really do like the fact that PNC's getting a removal from board kind of card like this. Not gonna lie, Karina is just stupid. Like, not just with this, but just buff caps as well. Like, the fact it activates all traps is crazy. We've got insider knowledge going in here. Yep, I mean, these are really good cards. We'll see whether or not there's any more cards on Mobalytics, but this is crazy. Okay, so let's have a quick little look on Mobalytics here. So the Peacemaker, which is the one which deals 2 damage to an enemy and plants 2 flash bombs into the top 10 cards randomly, is actually her spell, her champion spell. I want to try and say her name, but I feel like I'd get it terribly wrong. So is it something Lynn? Caitlyn? I want to say Caitlyn or Caitlyn. I've probably said her name terribly wrong, but that is her champion spell. And yeah, so that's yet again it's helping towards her level up condition and whatnot. It's doing 2 damage for 3 mana, so as well as doing an effect. That's not a bad card to have as being a damage, but bearing in mind that damage removal cards have been on a bit of a decline recently because they haven't been able to keep up with the burst speed buffs that's been a thing. So let's have a look. It looks like those are her 2 spells coming in off of Karina. I feel like we hit Most Wanted. We didn't get to see. So when I'm summoning, create Most Wanted. So Most Wanted is which actually is a main deckable card as well. It's a 5 mana slow speed. Pick a player to discard their lowest. So pick a player to discard their lowest cost card to draw 3. I mean, when does that ever? I mean, I guess it does actually make sense, because if you had no cards in your hand yourself, I mean, I'm just gonna go across one more because I think, like, just so you can see this. So Most Wanted, I guess if you needed to draw, it is a big price to pay, like 5 cost. Obviously this is main deckable because it's not just a token card, it is main deckable, but it's going to be better with this 4/5 body. So if you play this, you're getting that. It does force your opponent to discard and then draw something, which is good. Potentially, maybe even, like, I was going to say, like, discard, like some kind of discard deck might actually enjoy this because it is still draw, but then if you're playing Jinx, you don't want to be drawing too much because you still want to be able to use the bomb bit if they're all cheap things. I don't know whether or not you would consider running that in a discard deck, but like to use on yourself. Most of the time, if you're running a trap deck, you're going to be using it on your opponent because you're forcing them to discard a card, discard their lowest cost card, and then force them to draw through, which could potentially mean that they're activating more and more traps. But there is some fault for saying that you could actually use this on your own stuff if you had no draw and you needed something. So let's get in. There's actually a few cards we haven't seen. So Station Archivist, play. Pick a spell in the top 5 cards of your deck and create an exact fleeting copy of it. So pick a spell in the it's so stupid, but my mind goes to this. She is a free cost, and for some reason my mind goes to, if I was running a Tri-Beam Impropulator deck, and I was running a Tri-Beam Impropulator deck where I was using the counterfeit copies to make more copies of it at the level that I had it at, and the idea that this could potentially find that and then make a fleeting copy, because it is an exact fleeting copy. That's what's always important to remember, is when something says the exact copy, not just a copy of it. So I'm just trying to think like how many other spells that affects, in terms of if you've done some kind of buff to them, you're getting the exact fleeting copy of it in hand. But as I said, the first one that comes to mind is Tri-Beam Impropulator. If you've used the counterfeit copies so that it's at a certain level already, you'd have to make sure that you had the mana, because bearing in mind that Tri-Beam Impropulator is now a 5 cost card, so you'd have to be using it with this as well. But I could see maybe making use of that. I mean, obviously it can be damage cards as well, right? It can be any, like, you could use this with, say, Ezreal, so that you're making sure that you're getting damage cards which are going to be doing that. You could also use this to potentially get out her spell itself. It is a damage spell, which could get more trap cards in, as well as if you're running a mushroom deck, you've got Puffcat Peddler on the board, there's the chance of doing this. So it does have some uses, but the free cost is what makes me immediately think Tri-Beam impopular. But that's just where my stupid mind goes. Anyway, Ambush, which is a new card for PNC, which is give a unit +2 this round if you've added 2 cards to your hand this round, which again you can either do by creating or just drawing if you've got a certain amount of draw. Give it elusive this round as well. So actually more elusive stuff coming in for PNC, which is like that potential finisher. It's one of those things where yet again, like, there's cards where this could be like really useful on top of, like, you could use this on top of Vi if you can like get Vi to a good enough level whereby this is then you're making her elusive and going in with a big ass attack. Can be quite good to be able to use there. There's other things as well whereby you're trying to get maybe a Nexus Strike, so maybe even Swain, something like that, a PNC Swain deck, because we know that PNC and Swain kind of do work well together because of the amount of damage that presents by both regions, so there is the chance of doing that. So maybe, yeah, that's just the immediate things that come to mind, but anything which does a Nexus Strike. I'm trying to think of more crazy things. For some reason, Swole Squirrel came to mind, but I don't think that Swole Squirrel would really thrive in PNC. Like, Demacia and, what's his face, Shurima have got that a lot more than, have got his back a lot more than what PNC would, but still it's an interesting concept to decide to think about anything that could make that even better, just to bear, even a buff for Akshan, like Akshan getting elusive, getting plus stats, and also getting down his landmark. It's not a bad choices there, but it's mostly going to be a big unit that you can hit in, like anything with overwhelm and whatnot, because there's not many like a really good elusive cards. It's also it's kind of a counter to Teemo as well, because you can make something that can defend against Teemo, so good card. We got a 1-mana burst speed advanced intel, which is just planting 2 traps immediately in the deck, so you can start that off immediately. And we've got the inside knowledge one, so we've already seen all these other ones. I mean, if puff caps were not a thing, if she was just entering the game and puff caps were not a thing, I would be loving literally everything I'm seeing, because I know that puff caps are a thing. Most of these utilities are going to be used on puff caps more than they're going to be used on flash bombs, but there is obviously the chance of making a quite devastating and powerful Teemo Caitlyn? I'm going to say Caitlyn, and I hope that I've said her name right. So potentially a powerful Teemo Caitlyn deck whereby you're forcing loads of traps, so that not only are you forcing damage into their Nexus through the puff caps, but you are also forcing damage into their board through the flash bombs. So you are, like, you know, controlling the board and destroying the enemy Nexus, as well as when she levels up, she's then making those flash bombs do Nexus damage, as well as the puff cap damage. We're going to be living in such a trap-orientated meta, but we'll have to see how it goes. It's going to be crazy. We still don't know what the other cards are going to be or what the other champions are going to do, but I'm hyped for this. So please let me know what your thoughts are, as well as what you think about this champion, what you think of the cards, and just like your thoughts on the expansion in general. I'd love to hear it in the Discord, as well as obviously there's the custom card contest currently going on in that Discord. So if you want to win yourself a little bit of money, you've got until Sunday to enter. And just thank you all so much for watching. Obviously, shameless plug time: Twitch, Twitter, and Instagram. You can catch me on Twitch on Mondays, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays, as well as if you enjoyed yourself at any point during this video, I found anything informative or entertaining or whatnot, why not consider hitting that subscribe button if you haven't already? And if you are already subscribed, thank you so much. It honestly means so much. So thank you, and hope you have a great day, evening, night, and until next time, goodbye.
From flash of brilliance that could save me. Save me! That doesn't save me. Okay. Is there anything from you? Save me. That doesn't save me! Okay. Get rid of this and get rid of this. Find something that can save me.